Well, hey everyone, and welcome to my class on using AI Assistant for copy editing. Now, I designed this class because, a lot of the time when we think about using AI, it's for this creative purposes. We're generating images or using text-to-speech for our characters, or really just using it for more big picture type creative work. But what I find is that a lot of my day-to-day AI use actually feels more like what I used to do with Grammarly, only now I can do it right in my courses. And that's what this class is all about, using AI Assistant as a copy editing partner. So what we'll do is we'll look at going beyond the default prompts that you have in AI Assistant, which are fantastic for most types of needs. And we're going to use that AI edit field, that prompt field, as an open prompt. So I'll show you how to tell AI Assistant to give you exactly the kind of editing help you want and get you really expand what's possible with AI Assistant. Now I'm actually going to do everything here in Rise today for the class, because just with that vertical scrolling, it just gives a little bit easier, a little bit more room to display the examples and the prompting, but everything works exactly the same in Storyline. And honestly, some of the examples will actually probably work better in Storyline because you have that fixed size slide, and so things like equal line lengths and character counts actually makes probably a little bit more sense. But everything's going to work the same in both apps. All right, with that, let's go ahead and dive in and get started with just a quick review of AI Assistant's Write and Edit Inline feature. All right, so I'm working on a course here in Rise, and it's for traditional classroom teachers who are moving to e-learning. Now, one of the things that we'll use AI Assistant for the most is really to edit or revise our content. We can also generate content, and we'll look at that, but I think that just revising content is going to be one of the most common. And the way we do that is just select the sentence or paragraph or the word, well, probably not the word, but everything else, a sentence or a paragraph, just select it, and then you get the floating toolbar, and then we can just choose Edit with AI. And that's going to pop open the Edit, Write, and Edit. I'm going to move that off to the side right here. So you have these pre-built prompts, and these are really fantastic for quickly making common edits, as well as ensuring a consistent fix that's applied across all of your content. Meaning, if I say simplify writing, this simplify writing command or prompt is already baked in, and so the same type of prompt will be applied here in this paragraph, as well as it will any other block or lesson that I use it in. So that's a really great way to have that consistent writing style or tone. Then we can also change specific tone right here for more professional, casual, or even custom. So custom might be, I want you to speak like you're talking to your best friend, or maybe write it in a tone that's similar to a Southwest cowboy, right? So maybe something, you want to see what that looks like? That's just going to be a little funny, to a Southwest cowboy, right? Just to give you an idea of how varied and how many options and ways that you can use this to create that specific voice. Well, now as the world of education keeps on changing, it's high time for them teachers to saddle up, right? Probably not common in the most of e-learning courses that you write. However, this is how you can use that tone. I'm going to cancel out of here, and I'll pop this open again. So when you say, change tone in custom, you can go beyond whatever these default prompts are to help personalize your message. And then each time you needed to change tone in other blocks or lessons, you would just make sure to write that same prompt for your custom. The audience is also another one that can have a big impact on the writing. So if I said rewrite this for an intended audience of a fourth grader, it's going to be much different than I said for sales managers, things like that, right? So that voice and the language used and the sentence structure, the complexity of the writing will all be adjusted based on how you specify what that custom audience is. All right, so this is the edit and refine, working with the built-in prompts. The explain this is another one that's really good. It's going to help break down concepts. This is really great for technical writing or any more of the complicated concepts that you're working on. I actually find this helpful for me when I'm trying to explain something new, when I'm working on a course for a client and I just don't have it down. I might just use explain this to give me the context to help me rewrite and work that out. Also things like create an analogy. Let's just check out what that looks like. So this is another way to help explain concepts. So we have education evolves, teachers must embrace. And then with the analogy, we get a garden tends to diverse plants and vibrant ecosystems. Educators must cultivate their online teaching. So you're connecting something, right? So I could say create an analogy based on, say, moving from classroom to e-learning. It could be moving from let's say this an urban environment to a suburban environment, right? Moving from the country to the city, so you can make some connection or bridge between what's known and what's not known, what's new. So you have all these built-in prompts. The benefit to these is they are going to, now we can change it into a bulleted list. What they're going to do is, and I'll say insert below, so we have a list version of these items, of that paragraph. But what this does is give you a consistent prompt across all of your content. And this is going to work the same in Storyline, so you can quickly apply a consistent voice, style, and format to what you're working on. Now, another way that we're going to work with this often is by, let's just come in here, I'll say new text block, and I'll delete this. And that is to create content. So we can click the plus icon right here, and let's open up AI Assistant. And I can just start from scratch. So if I needed to expand my content or I needed to add a quick section, I can have AI Assistant just create something using general knowledge from scratch. So let's just say we're at one paragraph about the common types of classroom, all right, that's not a good sentence, room activities that are recreated in e-learning. So let's see what that comes up with. So this will give me a list, and then I might say, let's bring this down a little bit, maybe turn it into a bulleted list. So it's going to be a little easier for me to see. So I'm looking for some ideas. There we go. So it gave me a list of items. Here I have interactive discussions, group projects, quizzes, assessments, simulations, and role play. Right? So I can either use this as my content, refine this, or I could use this as source material that I can use and then craft my own content. So you're either creating, refining your content with AI Assistant, or you're generating new content, but those features are all baked in. Those are the default prompts that are available to you across all lessons, block types. Same thing with Storyline, but that's the easiest and most common way to get started is with those built-in prompts.